Minneapolis, make some noise for the #1 team in the power rankings. It's Atlanta Faze.
1, 2, 3 for Major Maniac.
Oh my God! For Simp! Lightning strikes twice. A Beezy! He bites one, he bites two! What an individual play from Priest.
Fresh off the sweep over the Dallas Empire, make some noise for Simp and the Tiny Terrors! And their opponents on the other side of the stage, looking to bounce back after that 3-0 loss to London. This is your New York Subliners.
Mr. Ice in his veins. Bongo top. He gets the damage in. He can't miss it. It's accuracy. Here we go. Juma. 1 versus 3.
It's like, no worries, bro. I got this.
Ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down to this.
Minneapolis, please put your hands together for the team representing the greatest city in the world. It's the New York Subliners. Atlanta, New York, it's all going down right now. It's time to send it up to our casters to get this party started with Benson and Chance.
Thank you so much, Puckett, the Game 5 duo, in for what hopefully will be a great series. But Chance, I think if we're honest with each other, there's really no way in hell this goes to a Game 5.
I mean, this is the ultimate test for us as like casters. We're going to find out very quickly whether or not we are actually cursed, because again, across the board, the expectation is FaZe is going to get a 3-0. But we only cast Game 5, so we'll get the answer very shortly.
And one of the really fascinating things when you look about this FaZe squad is you, Miles, and myself, we watched them late last night, and just the pace they play at is truly incredible. But Maven, I have to give him credit. He kind of put it to his best yesterday. We were in the green room hanging out, talking about the FaZe squad, and he goes, yeah, Priester, yeah, he's their trophy player. And then you actually sit and you think about that and you go, God damn, that's incredible, really, isn't it? Just the amount of talent they have on this squad is it's really nuts. And for me, they're just so far ahead of everyone else in the league so far. Admittedly, we've only seen them once, though, Chance.
Yeah, and keep in mind, though, this has been a weekend of, like, all the expectations we've had from various teams have been completely usurped. They've, like, completely changed. Like, Paris Legion was supposed to be a team that was at the bottom. They have looked phenomenal. It is... The expectations have not made any sense in the slightest. So yes, we're starting this out by saying the expectation is for FaZe to have the advantage over the New York Subliners, and for good reason. However, by no means do I want to count this team out. It is a stacked roster on the other side of that table as well.
All right, well, the game about to get underway. And for me, the New York Subliners may have started a little bit slow, but this could be a big kind of moment for them to try and turn things around. And is there someone specifically you look at on the New York side of the main stage?
I mean, again, the situation is you can kind of take your pick, right? It is superstar caliber players anywhere on the list. The thing I'm curious about, though, accuracy is going to be my focus. And the reason being, TP mentioned that you're not going to be able to keep up with the pace of Atlanta FaZe. You're going to have to slow it down and try to make it your tempo. Accuracy is a very slow-paced AR. When he is at his best, it is posted up on a head glitch where he just gets to pre-aim and just hold that L trigger for days. And I want to see what his score line is going to be at the end of this hard point, right? If he has a great score line, that should mean his team has a great deal of success. But if the SMGs for FaZe are a little bit too crazy, I think he's going to be a player that suffers.
Well, we shall see. Map number 1 underway. Atlanta FaZe, New York Subliners. Been very impressed with the fan support for Atlanta FaZe. Seeing that's going to continue here in the second to last game of launch weekend. Already, though, it is the FaZe boys picking up the early kills.
And it's just, we've seen so many kills like that. We're watching the guys going against FaZe. It looks like they do everything correctly, and then someone slides right in, and they just melt. The gunfights are destructive. Abizi's already gotten off to a pretty hot start. He got 3 kills, already leading the lobby.
And again, keep your eyes on the minimap throughout this first Hardpoint. It's not one you're going to expect to see that many points just yet at the start of the game. It's all about where those arrows are going to be spawning, Chance. And so far, FaZe doing a good job of just locking making that spawn in.
Yes, teams have always been very delicate. If you're spawning on the right side of the mini-map, you don't want to give that up. You don't have to pour a ton of pressure on a P1, so Faze's main goal here is essentially just to keep the Subliners out of this first.
And we have to see Selim right now. It's a 6 streak for him. He starts off 6-1. He fell early. Since then, he's been going on a rampage. Can he find the 7th? Wisely just backs away. Of course, just 10 seconds remain on this hardpoint. And he decides to just drop down prone. Unfortunately for him, that's where the streak is going to end. But either way, a hot start. And speaking of hot starts, Major Maniac, he's 6-2. Unfortunately,
and keep in mind, the score is 3-4 after the first hill, because the only goal for the Faze that entire time was get kills, don't lose the spawns for the next one. They were never attempting to try to get a ridiculous amount of time. They were playing for kills, they were playing for slaying, but now they have to make sure they hold this hill. The Subliners, well, they took a crack at contesting the hill, but to no avail. Still, though, Temp, the next man in, trying to make the play.
I like this from Temp. He's actually managed to get himself inside the hill. Unfortunately for him, not going to be able to do much else outside of shutting down Priesta. Meanwhile, the Faze Atlanta boys inside the hardpoint. This chance is where they're going to try and build themselves a lead, build themselves a cushion that they can maybe rely on into the rest of the game.
Still, those Subliners, a couple players around. You got attached in the back right now. His job is essentially just try to contest that old hill, but you contest the old hill, and that means the rotation to new Faze. They have played it perfectly. This is exactly what they were hoping would happen. They will trade away, what, 10, 12, 15 seconds of the final bit to now try to lock down P3. The rotations are perfect. The slaying is perfect. Atlanta Faze playing so well right now.
And you almost need to see a very quick break here for New York Subliners if they want to try and get a foothold in this game, if you will. Meanwhile, Major Maniac at the very back, just waiting for the push to come through. And I think New York are going to fly straight through the front door. That's 3 for accuracy, as now Abizi wants to try and contest the hill. 2 players right in front of him. Teammates, of course, assisting, but he does shut down Zero. There's accuracy just lying, staring right at him. New York break in.
Nice little break, and this is the opportunity to get quite a bit of time. And again, accuracy at his best when he can just L-trigger on a head glitch, but the smoke is going to be very problematic for him because the players are going to get up close and personal, and they take him down the instant re-break from Faze.
Selim started off so well, but he's keeping it up. 14-7 so far, leading the game in statistics. But in terms of the score overall, chance, still very, very close. 53-35, still 17 seconds of hill time left.
And this has been a very nice back and forth game for all the great rotation from the Faze the Subliners have dealt with on P2 and P3 pretty well. But yes, it's the slaying that's really going to have to turn things around. And now they have that early rotation of P4. Selim's going to be the man that tries to get the breakthrough, able to find one. You expect the trades to be coming in, though. In New York, well, they do have that hill surrounded. Got to get the final man out. Attach takes him down.
Attach actually started off this game relatively slowly, but he's heated up 9-7, currently on a 2 streak as things stand, as he looks to try and assist from above, but some sloppy shots. Selim managed to actually pick up 2, but Zuma soars in. That's 3 for him. Simp instantly looking for the trade, should be able to get it. Atlanta Faze break again.
And you have the nice break on the hill from Simp, but Major Maniac on the other end has been causing a ton of problems. So it's a 2-front war right now that Faze has been fighting. And well, it's been about a 50-50 split, but inside the hill for the most part, Faze has been hanging out, racking up the kills, and Simp is starting to go on a tear.
Say, that's your back-to-back MVP, Rookie of the Year. So many accolades last year. I'm sure one thing is for sure, his trophy cabinet by the end of his career is probably going to be very, very full. We're excited to watch him develop and grow, but finally, New York, they break in, but it's only for the scrap time chance.
Only for the scrap time, but the rotation to new. This is going to be the best opportunity the Subliners are going to have to rack up a substantial amount of time, but there's actually big gunfights in and around the hill. Of course, Zuma right now is going to be trying to be that lead slayer, but the pressure's on. They got a man inside the hill. Selim is dealing with 2. You take care of him, and Subliners trying to gain that control.
And somewhere in this game, New York will have to lock down one of these hills, and that's not a great start. Attach some sloppy shots. Abizi makes him pay. Atlanta Faze break once again. And it's almost just too simple, Chance.
It genuinely, I think with the quote from Scump is when you play against a team like the Faze, it just feels like there's a 6th man like somewhere on the map. The invisible guy that they're just too fast-paced. They're always just in your grill. And we saw it on that hill. There was never a moment where the Subliners could breathe. The Faze, they just swarm you.
And the most important thing on the minimap for me right here is look at what Atlanta Faze are doing. They're picking up the scrap time here, but more importantly, they're already thinking about the 2nd hill in our new rotation. They have just parked the bus deep on the furthest right side of the map, making sure they lock this point. that is so important because it could have potentially been New York Subliners' way back into this game.
And this is Faze just managing so many different things on the map. It was the hill time at all of its rotation, 2 hills in advance, and well, they secured the spawns that they wanted, and now you go back to the goal that they had at the start of the game. They just want to keep the spawns and keep the Subliners out of the hill. So far, so good. They break right through. Salium just leading the charge.
Okay, just pushing straight to a smoke grenade, finding himself a double. Abizi slows things down just a little bit, and again, to your point, Chance, making sure no one from New York is in the hill. A quick glance at those stats, and I mean, Shellium 23 and 14, Simp 17 and 12, Major Maniac 17 and 11. Everyone from Atlanta Faze having a great game so far.
And it's honestly not even just like the keeping the New York Subliners out of the hill. They're keeping them pushed back in the base. I think this is a hill that Faze has gotten more time on. Like originally it was 7 points total. Now Faze have improved a little bit on that. They're still holding the spawns, and it's not a massive lead, but it's a very noticeable and a little bit more than 50 points. If the Subliners can't put something together to break this P2 hill, it's going to start to get out of control.
And that's the key, right? If you cannot break this hill quickly, Atlanta Faze will start to run away with this game. And New York are going to know that. You have to do at least a little bit of damage limitation, if nothing else here. A break here and there, contest as frequently as you possibly can, and New York are inside the hill, but as quickly as they get in, Priesta kicks him right back out. Unfortunately for him, though, Zero will shut him down as Simp left maybe in a 1v2, dependent if Zero wants to try and push through. Has the support of Selim inside the hill, though, so for now, Simp not all that too worried.
It's actually a couple players from the Subliners are going to be able to get through and get this scrap time as well. Only 1 man up for Faze for these final 20 seconds, but he gets shot down. So Subliners did their job. Again, you don't give away the full 60. You take at least 20 points off the hill. You keep the lead to about the same margin as it was. So for the situation they were dealt, they honestly handled it pretty well. But of course, that does mean Faze once again has that early rotation over to P3. The Subliners have broken through this once. They're going to have to do it a second time because, again, the pressure is still on.
At some point, though, New York will need to lock in a good rotation and a big chunk of time to reduce the 60-point lead Atlanta now currently holds as Selim gets himself too and wraps back over towards his teammates. He may have a few more. There's a big pinch coming in on the hill, though, from New York, and that's credit to Zero. Had the support of a teammate there. Now he's going to have to try and defend him from the front. It's accuracy right behind as Zero slays from the front.
I think Zero might need to play a little bit aggressive, reads the man coming around the flank, and might have to fly out and challenge because he's got a little bit teammate support, but he wants to play it to let these Faze players kind of walk in and maybe contest, but he's winning the gunfights. Maybe Zero going to start to heat up, get that hot hand just a little bit. The man's on a 4 spree.
Yeah, 4 streak right now, 20-21, 47 seconds of hill time as New York do lock this hill down. This is big time for them as Attach now wants to try and push through. New York find a way back into the game.
And those are 2 great back-to-back kills for the Subliners. Again, the pressure was put on them. They have come up big both times, but this is a non-stop pressure-having game. But now you actually have Attach going on a 5 spree. He does get taken down, but Zero still on his forward. Zoom in, Temp potentially heating up as well. You got streaks across the board. The guns for the Subliners starting to turn up.
This is exactly what they need at this exact moment in time. Zuma trying to push through, but he's called all sorts of chaos, and now Temp is there to try and trade. Ring around the rosy. Temp surrounded by Atlanta Faze players, but he's managed to get himself out and find another kill. Temp doing what he does best, finally falls, but all of that was a massive distraction because whilst that was going on, New York were in the hill and now a tied game.
We got a tied game in the lead change. The Subliners take it over for a moment, but then the Faze clan take it right back. But you talk about the rotation over towards News. Selim's in the back, he's got to stay alive. Zuma on the read, on the prowl, takes him down immediately. And again, we talked about this same hill, this P5. Subliners were there first last time. They never got the complete setup. This is the best opportunity they have. They got 3 bodies in and around the hill. They need a good chunk of time here. They need to retake this lead.
187-170. The lead is small and fragile. New York in the hill, trying to reduce it and trying to earn themselves a little bit of a cushion as we will go into our final rotation of hills. Of course, it can't be one here, but again, Faze just walking towards the hill, cause catastrophe. New York, though, still with a marginally favorable spawn. They have to help, though. New York need assistance in the hill phase. Keep putting the pressure on and break it.
And it's just too easy. That's a big moment in this game because now you got the Slayers of Faze running around the hill. Since able to find 2 Abizi, able to find 2 the Tiny Tears. You think the Subliners get hot for a moment, they take it right back.
And it is crucial. It is crucial now. New York lock in the spawns for the second hill. They've been unsuccessful at doing it in the last rotation. Now it has to happen. At the same time, though, Chad, you can't give away too much hill time on P1 when we rotate in 7 seconds.
It's going to be a dire game, and you already see Atlanta Faze working towards the back, but the Subliners are going to meet him there. It might be a Temp versus Celium kind of gunfight, but it's actually a 2v2 on one side of the map, and this is completely away from the hill, but these are the gunfights that can win you the game. Attach needs to find him, gets one player in the back, but
still one more.
Does he know it?
There's still one more. He's been shot at, so he will now. Crucial gunfight still going on for Attach. Forget what's going on the hill. Attach knows that these are must-win fights. Unfortunately for him, though, he's not going to win it. Now it falls to Zuma to try and trade. He's unable to do so. Celium with 2 massive kills for Atlanta Faze.
Celium again on that 5 spree. It's the 5th one he's had this game. It feels like he's got 38 kills. The main Slayer, Atlanta Faze, trying to hold on, but now accuracy maybe heating up a little bit too.
New York have to push through. They have to get control of P2, and it's actually Attach. He's snuck behind enemy lines once again. Major Maniac, you should see him right in the back, but Attach wins it anyway. But he has so much work to do. Atlanta Faze, they know he's there, and they're hunting him down.
Come out with your hands up. You are surrounded. He gave it his best try, and maybe bought his team a little bit of an opening to work the way around the back. Zoom is here. He is going to be blocking this spawn potentially. He's able to find the second kill as well, holding it down for the Subliners.
One more Zoom, almost. Beezy shuts him down, but now the reinforcements, the cavalry is there for New York. They try and push through the front of the hill, but it just needs one more defensive stance from Atlanta Faze, and they will take game number 1. Priest guarding the front door. He shuts down 0, and now chaos ensues for New York. They need to break in the hill.
They got him surrounded, though. 8 seconds away, though, and Faze will take this one away, but you got bodies for the Subliners inside the hill, but 0 is gonna fall, and the spawn is so far away. You gotta make the mad dash for the contest, but easy gunfights for Faze to win. 250 on the board, and Faze up 1-0.
250 to 11. The game at one point looked as if it was going to be an easy cakewalk for Atlanta Faze. Not the case. New York showed some life, and you just have to think, Chance, if at some point in that game they were able to lock in a spawn, get a big chunk of time, turn a Hardpoint into a money hill for them, they could have taken game 1.
It was a very well-fought game. Again, that second hill you fight through quite a few times. You put the pressure on, and I think the Subliners, again, did an incredible job of dealing with that pressure consistently throughout the game. But at the same time, it was every single time on that P2 hill, they were the ones that never had the spawns, that never had that advantage going in. They were always a little bit too slow, and I think kind of a theme for me was I was going to pay attention to the scoreline from accuracy. He went about 22 and 33, I think I saw at the end of the game, and if your main AR, the slower pace guy, isn't having that success, I think that just means the pace was a little too overwhelming from Faze.
All right, well, as it stands, Atlanta lead the series 1-0. I want to take a look at our Scuff Gaming play of the game. We talked about him before. Simp, he's just so good, Chance.
And honestly, I mean, you could take your hands. Like, how many 5 sprees do we see from pretty much every single player on the side of Faze? So Simp gets credit for this one, but I think it was selling the entire time. That was the main Slayer for such a time. He had 38 kills with like a minute and a half left in the game. It was an absurd performance across the board from Faze, a very well-calibrated team. I mean, they're doing the little things right as well. I think it was on the Crates Hill over towards P4. We're watching Major Maniac on the opposite top corner of the map, and he's literally spawn killing and cutting these players off from the Subliners, and that means he is doing so well at his job that now his teammates, all of those sub players that are actually near the hill, are fighting an effective 4v3. Everything that the Faze does is so well put together, so well calculated. They were consistently getting the better spawns pretty much the entire game. So as good as the Subliners did, they just weren't putting themselves in good positions.
Yeah, to your point, a very good performance from them, but it just wasn't good enough. Atlanta Faze lead the series 1-0. Then, of course, heading over to a Piccadilly search and destroy. We talked about that pretty extensively on day 1. The sniping crosses, how important that is truly going to be. I mean, we all know Simp can snipe, right? We've heard the Miles and Momo clip so many times of just Simp going off, and it's just so hard to stop. So how do you stop it on Piccadilly?
You know what, just carry like 18 smokes around the map, figure out a way and just smoke off everything and not have to deal with them. I think realistically on Piccadilly, there are a ton of lines of sight that you can just kind of actively avoid. You throw a smoke on the cross, you do get your way to safety, and then you just kind of have to figure out, once you figure out where Simp is, you identify the issue and you say, I'm going to avoid that at all costs. And you just try to play around
it, or do you try and counteract it? We all know Zero, he can snipe as well for New York. Is that something you think they may try maybe in a couple of rounds and see if it works, or Is it just actively avoid it until we absolutely must deal with it with a sniper rifle?
I'm trying to think. I mean, everyone snipes the cross on Piccadilly on both offense and defense, but it's sort of different crosses. It's not, in my mind, like a pure sniper battle of you're trying to snipe the sniper necessarily.
Right.
Ordinarily, you have slightly different roles, so maybe if you want to try to take Simp down, that's something you could work with. But in my mind, it's definitely just smoke out whatever crosses you're expecting him to watch. Normally, it's off the rip when you're going to A if you're on defense, and then if you're on offense, it's the opposite direction. But I just wouldn't want to deal with the sniper at all. I'm staying far away. I just want to play my game, that type thing.
Of course, as we mentioned, Piccadilly Search and Destroy up next, but I want to take a look at our U.S. Air Force maps and modes to see where the series could potentially take us. Of course, I think we all kind of think it should end in 3, but chances, I mean, is there potential if New York can push the series further that maybe they could take it and cause what many would consider an upset?
I mean, I'm definitely more of a believer now than I was like a few minutes ago. I will say Search and Destroy in my mind, I'm even more terrified of the Faze. That's how I feel about the team, but if it's that close of a game, especially with the hot start that Faze got out on, like I can definitely buy into the Subliners potentially causing a little bit of an upset. It's just going to be so tough, man. Like, I can believe, but I'm still like, you know, 90-10 the way of Faze. Maybe 80-20. I'll go 80-20.
I was going to say 90-10 is a pretty hefty one-sided. I'm not sure there's much belief there, but game number 2 loading up.
And keep in mind, yesterday when Faze played the Search and Destroy, it was like a quick 6.
Oh, it was so.
I think it was literally like across the board. Every single player just had 6 kills.
I went to the bar to get us all a drink, came back and it was over. I was like, oh, okay. Well, that was very anticlimactic. We'll see though. Can New York show us something else in the Search and Destroy? It was a good potential comeback from game 1, but they ran out of steam at the very last moment. Piccadilly could be their best chance, of course, of tying things up, but to your point, Faze plant and their Search. Ooh, boy, does it look good.
Of course, you see Simp with the boomstick. See if he can make anything fancy. Now, there's an interesting conversation, I think, of the HDR versus like the AX50. I'm now of the opinion that it's pretty much whatever Simp uses, that's what I'm going to go with. He's got the AX50. I think Zero's got the HDR. So he got the battle. Zero, though, actually gets that first blood.
And it's worth mentioning, Zero actually sniped aggressively, straight off the bat. He didn't want to just kind of pick a lane and maybe just try and see if he can count the cross. Aggressive play from New York. It gives them a man advantage. I love that. But just as things seem to be going New York's way, Major Maniac, he finds one. Attach is going to fall as well. So the numbers advantage very quickly disappears.
It's always nice when you see the snipes getting hit, but I will say Major Maniac, he's always like that island player, respawn and in search, and he made the play, winning the gunfight against Temp as well.
Oh, don't slow
Just walk straight into him, make it easy for him. Generally, you identify the sniper, you avoid those lines of sight. Zuma, well, he took a crack at it, and, well, Simp takes the easy shot, just the normal Simp things.
Now you find himself a 2v4. Bomb does actually get planted, though. So simple rotate, he's got spot accuracy, and I mean, actually he was in no man's land. Unless Zero is in the perfect post-plant position. Yeah, never mind. That doesn't matter much, does it? I mean, hunt it down and kill.
To be fair, I do like that setup. If you get a player, especially with a sniper and assault rifle under those steps, and you get the bomb planted today, it is a fantastic line of sight. However, you know, 2v4. Not the most ideal situation to make it happen because Faze was Johnny on the spot. He was dead in just a moment's notice.
So that's 2 kills for Simp in that round, 2 for Major Maniac. Zero started off strong, but Atlanta Faze take round 1.
And just to kind of tail back to an earlier discussion about HDR versus AX50, the HDR zooms in a little bit quicker. If you like the quick scope, by all means, the AX50 can shoot multiple bullets a little bit faster. Slightly higher rate of fire, so whatever your preference is. Going for highlight reel, maybe use the AX50. Shoot them all.
I believe this was the shot Zero had the round prior, and Simp through the smoke almost finds the first blood. But New York can live to fight another day, or can they? A Beezy first blood. Temp will fall.
Major Maniac. You can feel that someone's up top. I don't know if they have the information on accuracy, but he's looking for it. Simp killing everyone on the map, including his teammates. Does stay alive for the moment.
Does Simp have the information of someone's top shop? I believe it was Accuracy who was there a few moments prior. Unfortunately for him, he hasn't been able to find the line of sight. Of course, Atlanta Faze on the attacking side. They will need to get that bomb down relatively soon. A minute 15 still to go. 4 versus 4. Temp and Abizi both fell early. Simp being so patient. There's Zuma thinking about it. Gotta be careful, he's gonna spot Priest, and now can he just get away with his life? That would be huge. Able to do so. Scrambles away, ready for a reset.
Pressure's on Faze here to try to make a play. Accuracy has actually been a thorn in their side, but you see they're using the smoke and trying trying to get a little bit of control, but they know accuracy's up here. They don't want to make a move until he's dead. Meanwhile, Major Maniac killing them all, but accuracy, first strike on Priest.
And that's an important win. That means Rama is on the floor, and it will need to be picked up. Accuracy really could be the playmaker here for New York. It's a 2 versus 3. Advantage Faze, 28 seconds left. Time is ticking, and honestly, if Faze pick up the bomb, they may be able to actually wrap if they choose. Zero could be in a whole world of pain. He's last man up. He goes for the no-scope, and unfortunately, not gonna hit it. Faze with the 2-0 lead.
And it's just one of those rounds where New York Subliners have quite a few things going well for him. Accuracy up top, again, was a great one on their side. And then Major Maniac goes, nope,
yeah.
I got 2 kills, round's mine, don't even worry about it. It's just any player on this team at any given moment. I mean, again, they're all search stars.
I mean, yeah.
All of them are search stars at one point or another, basically, so they're all capable.
But you look at the stats, 5-0, Major Maniac.
Not bad.
Simp, 2-0, Selim, 1-0 with Easy and Priest, 1-1. Overall, pretty good performance as Zero looks to try and hit the shot that he had success in round number 1. Not able to do it this time, so no first blood yet, but will it be there? Temp stops shooting. Unfortunately for him, he will drop, and Priesta finds himself a double.
Still perfect in search and destroy. Faze is yet to lose a round, and they're poised to win this one as well. We talked about Major Maniac, 5-0, doing great. Priesta, he's been able to find 3 this round, and Zero, best of luck. Someone's gonna kill you. The question is, who's gonna get it? Selim takes it for the win.
And everyone from Faze just flying straight at him. They spot him and then they hunt him down. Very efficient stuff. I mean, that's Faze at your point. They haven't lost a round in search yet.
I mean, it's not as if I don't have the answer of how to beat Faze and search and destroy, but at the same time, it's something TP mentioned, right? Like, so many teams, it's been this way for years in Call of Duty where they don't like scrim S&D too much. They just kind of go over it in private match and maybe scrim it a little bit a couple times throughout the year, but it's not taking quite the same approach as you do in Respawn and Faze. Well, they seem to be completely on the ball.
Think of it this way. New York in 3 rounds have 2 kills. One was a first blood in round number 1 with a sniper with Zero. The other is accuracy, top shot shooting down over toward the A side. Attach 0-4 now as he falls for first blood. Zuma's 0-3, Temp's 0-3 as well. There's no response from New York. They need to just maybe slow it down completely and just start playing for a pick if nothing else. Use numbers to give you more numbers.
I mean, Simp has killed more Faze players than, well, not Zero, but more than Attach, Zuma, and Temp at the moment. Zero does a great job to get the pick, but all the pressure over towards B-bomb site, Selim, just instant trade. Another massive man advantage. Major Maniac gets the kill. Priesta gets the next 2. It is easy. The Subliners just look clueless on the map.
That is probably the most important thing you can really say there. It seems like Atlanta Faze are well ready for this exact map, and they just seem to, I guess, be in the power positions quicker than the New York are. 4-0 now, Atlanta Faze.
I mean, it's just overwhelming. I mean, again, Simp literally, again, has more kills on Faze players than 3 members of the New York Subliners. 4 rounds deep. That's just...
And Simp's 2-1. It's not like we're talking about Major Maniac.
You know, what would be hysterical if the situation calls for it, if Faze purposely lost a round just to give the triple James Bond.
You know, that, I think, only ever happened once. Call of Duty World Championship. Ghosts, Team Envious were involved in that game. It was a fun time. Reached a double kill early on. Already 5-3. Easy, missing a couple of shots, and accuracy in Zero. The only 2 players with kills will remain that way for now. Zero, can he find one more? No, he can't. Simp picks up a double. Now Attach left for the 1v3.
Attach, one of the most clutch players in Call of Duty history. Pops dead silence to make this play. He has information on Selim. Selim does not on him, but I think that might be the tell to give it away. You see those red arrows come sprinting in and not even needed. Selim just making it look easy. The gunfight played perfectly.
What was it you saying about 0-7s? Because it's looking like you might be right.
Well, no.
That's it. That's it. They give away a round.
They'll have to throw away a round on purpose.
There could be some 0-6s, though, that's for sure.
Take those live betting odds here. Priest to 9-2, Major Maniac. I think he was 5-0 after 2 rounds. He's gotten a kill since then. Just been hanging out.
I mean,
Selim 4-0. Abizi, just lackluster performance in 2-2. Like, come on,
there's only so much you can do, really, isn't there, when your teammates start heating up? As there's the first blood. Speak of the devil. Major Maniac. Zuma. Temple will find his first kill of the game, though, and unfortunately, no trade came through there for Atlanta Faze. So, for now, at least, still 4 versus 4.
Attached, just exploded on a car. Meanwhile, Major Maniac in the power position, just hanging out top. He is now 8-0. You call him out for only having 5 or 6 kills. Well, he shows up and he's got 2 for the round. At some point, we'll challenge Temp. He's waiting for Simp to go make the play with the Deagle.
Attach and Zuma combined 0-12 together. Simply not good enough here in game 2. Simp will find Temp. I mean, that's 1-18 between 3 players. That's just not going to cut it.
Simp maybe doing his best Team Summertime impression, getting the final 2 kills with the Deagle, trying to be flashy if he can. We'll take a look at this one. Clean and straightforward, no big deal. And then Zero comes out for the challenge and thinks it one tap with the headshot. Perfect in search and destroy. There was not a single moment where I thought the Subliners had any glimmer of hope. 2 donuts from the side of the Subliners. Zoom in attached. That one of the best SMG duos we've had in COD overall. 0-12.
Not impressive there at all. Atlanta Faze lead the series against New York Subliners 2-0. We'll be back after this with game 3.
We trying to get hype. We trying to get hype. We trying to get hype. We trying to get hype.
Metro by T-Mobile. Complete your mission with the best deal in wireless. Scuff Gaming, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
Hello and welcome back to the CDL Game Day presented by Game Fuel, of course. Who else would it be? We've got an incredible showcase happening right now, of course. It is your afternoon on Sunday, and we've just seen Atlanta Faze absolutely dominate in S&D once again. We did think, okay, they're pretty good at it, but how good really are they at S&D? And the answer is pretty phenomenal.
It's disgusting, quite frankly. They're handing out donuts left, right, and center. I believe We've had 3 in total so far across the entire weekend. It's just disgusting. I don't know what else. I mean, I just wrote WTF on my bit of paper here. They're absolutely rancid, whether it's decision making or plays, or whether it's just a blinding skill. Atlanta are very, very good.
They really are. And right now, from what I'm seeing, they just don't seem to have that many weaknesses. But TP, if you could really pinpoint some things that maybe Faze could do better, are there any?
It's really, really hard based on what we've seen so far. I mean, I guess in that first hard point, there was a couple rotations they could have played a little bit more smooth. New York had a lot of opportunities to win that first map, but to really critique Faze right now, that's just unfair. Especially when you look at these search and destroys, like 6-0 people. I don't know if people actually realize how hard this is to do at the pro level. So you have to give Atlanta Faze and the preparation and the coaching staff, everyone involved.
Hey, you got a round of applause from TP. That's quite something.
A text, dude. Just give him a text.
Crazy.
We are going to take a look at the US Army Tactical Play of the game, and it's a stunning 2-piece by Major Maniac. These guys across the board on this Faze Atlanta roster, they don't miss a beat, and I think that is what's most important here, to look at this Faze roster. It's not just one person that's putting the work in across the board. This entire roster is doing it justice, and I think that's what one of the most amazing things about this is collectively, they are a unit.
It's so scary, Steve. You'd know this better than anyone. Sometimes it's nice to have a player on your team you can always rely on to go off. Imagine if any single one of your teammates can go off at any second. You can put your feet up when it comes to an entire series, Majors. Is incredible.
You know, I've just actually had some really good news. We're going to casters right now, so let's just get into it.
All right, we're back. Hey, there we go. A lot of Faze, 2-0 up. About time you beat me with the scissors. And yeah, Teep, we completely agree. Round of applause to absolutely everyone in the Atlanta Faze management, the coaching staff, the players. I mean,
I want to see him play against Chicago, bro.
All right.
Like, Faze look disgusting, but
That's fair.
it's too soon to say the best team
That's
yet.
fair.
I want to see him play against Chicago, and then we'll have more hot takes.
Okay.
That's the train I'm on.
But still,
Or Paris, honestly. Like, bro, let's see Paris against Faze. I'm down. I'm with it. Let's go.
very spicy game. Either way, it's Atlanta Faze that lead the series against New York Subliners 2-0. We now head over to Hackney Yard Domination. Our game 3, is this going to be a swift dispatch of the New York Subliners, or is it maybe a little bit of fight still to be had in New York?
That's a great question. I'm honestly still stuck on trying to figure out how to analyze that kind of search and destroy. That's like unique for me. Like, what do you say in those situations? But we'll figure that out before the next one.
They're better, I guess, is about where it stops, really. Very aggressive play in the search and destroy. But as you said, game 3, Domination now underway. New York trying to get a foothold in towards the B hill early, but this is what you expect. Atlanta Faze not giving it away for free.
Just that slow bridge of the kill feed, just slowly piling up. Red on that left side. Priestess has a very nice start. 3-0. Maybe he'll be able to continue it a little bit, taking damage from a nade, but he's got Cellian for the help. He's going to be able to heal up just a little bit, but you can obviously see the game plan. Wait for kills, wait for your teammates.
And it's worth mentioning, when we saw Atlanta Faze yesterday in their Domination, what you see teams tend to do in Dom is just try and control the chaos as much as possible, right? Teams are going to have spawns where they spawn behind you. It's going to happen. The one thing you will say about Atlanta Faze is they almost played better in that chaos. Their decision-making, their instincts was almost perfect. And it seems to play a little bit better for them, but, well, as you can see, 2 caps come through. New York cap the home flags.
And right now, attaches the man to make the play. It's going to be Faze trying to pour on the pressure.
And it's gone.
And it's gone. Good Lord. That was so, I don't even know how they knew that attaches back there. They just go on hunt. They can smell them, whatever it is. But now you got Faze capping A, you got Faze capping C. And admittedly, the Subliners have a bit of a lead, and there are no flags captured on this map, Ben.
Yep, he's close to being capped, but I think New York should secure B. C is obviously capped up. New York might actually be able to get A. We'll wait and see as Zero cleans up anyone over towards B. B's in 1, unfortunately not going to find the second, so A and B locked in for New York. A good start, but now it's about holding the flags.
And New York spawning at C as well, so it might be a situation where if like Zero can double back and defend this A flag while Faze is trying to pour on the pressure, he can make the play. He gets chopped down, so we have the official spawn flip. Now things are going to be a little bit more stagnant. Faze is going to have A, New York with the other 2.
The one interesting thing, though, is when New York are spawning on the top side of the map, they are not afraid to overextend, try and put a little bit of pressure over towards A, but the problem is, if you do that, you might force Atlanta Faze this one a little closer towards the B flag. Chaos starts to ensue, but again, a good thing really for Atlanta Faze, although they are down. Quick glance at our stats, 8-3 start for Zuma. Much better, accuracy 5-5 as well on the Faze side. Really not much to get too excited about other than Priest at 8 and 5.
And now you got Zuma trying to pour on a little bit of pressure towards Zay. Yes, he is going to fall, but that's just enough. If New York Subliners can keep kind of pouring this pressure over towards the A side of the map, you should be able to stay consistently like retaining the C and B flag, but now they actually have enough pressure. They can just straight up pop on the flag, and they'll get the triple cap potentially for a moment.
And this is huge because accuracy is actually still back over towards the C flag. If his teammates win an A, I would love to see accuracy go and maybe contest because Attach is getting a double, so A is locked in. All of Faze will spawn over towards the C side.
And Zuma went off right there just to secure that flag. They are preferring to keep this A and B setup just to avoid the respawn when he just happened to go over towards the C flag. So New York doing a fantastic job right now in and around this B flag.
Accuracy finally fell. He was trying to watch the cross, just buy his teammates more time to defend B. Decided not to challenge the home flag, but Selim now inside B starts to try and get the decap. Players from New York will flurry inside. Accuracy will be first to the party, but unfortunately for him, he doesn't find the kill, but Zuma is still alive in B. Bear in mind, 2.5 minutes still to go, Chance.
And now you got the New York Subliners just spawning right on top of that C flag, even though the top right side of the map is open, so they'll be able to cap C. Now you're going to have Faze going for A. Now you got bodies all over the map, Ben, but this is, I think, the 4th time we've seen it to where these teams are just preferring to have that AB flag set up, so the Faze is going to be able to hold on for a moment, but they're done by 34 at the moment.
And I'm curious to see what Zuma does. You can see it from our perspective here after BZ dances and darts through the smoke. Zuma is on a perfect pinch over towards B. His teammates are there. He could have pushed towards A. A big 1v1 is won by accuracy. That's to keep control of C. So New York off to a great start. In actual fact, no. Zuma has made such a good play over towards Atlanta Faze's home hill. He's going to stay. He's going to try and get the full neutral. Almost got away with his life. But it's those small moments, Chance. Those small moments where you can stop the enemy team earning any points whatsoever. It's massive. And with a minute and a half, finally, New York have come to life in this series. 75-41 the lead.
Zuma and Attach have been the playmakers. Zuma especially making up for that past S&D, but still, they got the 2 flags set up. You got Attach pouring pressure on the 3rd, and that is bringing so many of those Pharaohs back towards that A side of the map. And now, of course, that means, though, you got to hold B for the subline.
And this is another beautiful play. We saw it from Zuma. Now we're seeing it from Attach, putting pressure on the home hill and staying alive. Unfortunately, though, he's not able to stay alive, but New York cap up B. Over 60 seconds to go. Atlanta Faze controlling both home flags. If New York can just decap one and go into the second half with around about a 30 point lead, that would be massive. And as I say that, you can look at the minimap, those yellow arrows attacking the home flags of Atlanta Faze.
This is just chaos. You got players from both teams all over the map. It's about who can manage it the best. And again, you got to keep giving credit to Zuma. 17 and 10. The man is going off, and right now his job, roam around B and slay. Doesn't do it very long because the Bees is going to shut him down, but accuracy is there as the cleanup crew.
30 seconds left. B, of course, contested, as is accuracy. Will find one, but instantly the trades follow. Attach still alive. Teammate in support. Selim will fall up top, so B should be capped up. Beautiful from Attach. Zuma didn't really trust him to get that kill, but doesn't matter. 18 seconds, and New York with a sizable lead. Chance going into the first half, and again, I have to give credit to Zuma. He's 19 and 11, but forget the stats. It was the play he made to push over towards Atlanta Faze's home hill decap. It gave New York such an advantage. Faze were looking for him. They couldn't find him. He stayed alive. That's probably the best domination play I have personally seen here in launch weekend.
And when you start out on the C side of the map, that's the game plan for the Subliners. We saw a couple cracks at it. That was Attach in the top of the A building, right? Trying to cause confusion, try to be the man that makes the play after the Simp came flying in and shut him down. Well, Zuma had a couple attempts to make the same sort of play, and he was successful multiple times. A 44-point lead. That is going to be a tough hill for Atlanta Faze to climb.
I mean, now it's just keep more of the same, right? Just keep playing that game, keep playing the rotation game, make it organized chaos. And I mean, you can see straight off the rip here what New York want to do. They're sending no resources towards B. Instead, they want to fight the top side of the map and see if they can wrap over towards A. It's high risk, Chance, but it could potentially be high reward.
Now actually the middle of the map has been completely dominated by the Subliners. A couple players are going to fall, but Attach has made it basically towards the enemy lines, but does not last very long. He does get cleaned up, but now we kind of have a reset. Most of these players spawn towards the top of the map. Who can swarm on B quicker?
Atlanta Faze lead the series 2-0, but they're down here in game 3. I want to head over to an Astro Gaming listening with Atlanta Faze.
ISMC watching right. I have yellow crate. They have to all be right mid. ISMC guys. Bring it. ISMC. Top bell killed me. Top bell killed me. Okay, top bell. Straight top bell. Straight top bell. I got him. One right. Top bell. I need it right. Could be top L, could be top L. One bottom L, they smoked in. They smoked in. Creation top L. I got one in B. Top L, more in B, red crate. Jumping up AC, jumping up AC.
Oh, you got me, nice.
I'm top L now.
Yeah, I need top L.
Top L. It's one day, it's one day.
Double MR, just camping.
Hey, watch, right? I one more top. Major bottom L, Iber top L.
I'm gonna try. Yo, top green, Mike, top green.
Top L, bottom L. Okay, main bottom dead. More top. There's 2 and B, guys. Try to rotate in.
The lead that New York Subliners had, slowly but surely, is being chipped away by Atlanta Faze, now 121-90. The game plan New York had off the rip didn't work. Since then, Chance, we haven't seen them control this second side. Atlanta Faze, they're coming back.
Still, though, it's about a 30-point cushion, right? Which means they got about a minute and a half, 2 minutes for the Subliners to turn things around, and they can have multiple cracks. They're going for that B flag. If flipping spawns, they have options.
Honestly, I think it may come a time where New York are going to say, you know what, forget about B. Everybody fly towards A. Just mess up the spawns a little bit. See if throughout the chaos we can try and reset and come out of that with a couple of neutrals and maybe even a 2-to-1 flag advantage.
The flood on B, though, might be coming in. You got 3 players for the Subliners in and around the flag. Of course, Zero's going to fall attached, though, able to pick up one, and, well, the gunfights right now just going the way of it.
And this is perfect. This is exactly what I want to see. Keep your eye on the minimap. One yellow arrow snuck through behind enemy lines. This time, it's accuracy. A decap is going to force Faze to look back at their home hill and allow New York to fly in towards B. It's the perfect time to execute that play. Very well done from accuracy. Now he has to rely on his teammates to win the fight over towards B. He has to stay alive. A big win against Major Maniac. He knows there's going to be more. If he can shut down the second, that would be huge, but not going to happen. Priester snips him out. However, he bought a lot of time there for New York.
And Faze, someone walked over just to decap C, and then they walked away. They don't even want to deal with that flag. They are trying to go for B. They are trying to go for A, because they're going to need that double cap for so much more time. But now the Subliners have it. They have the setup they want, and they get the triple cap. And even if they get 2 ticks here, that will be massive.
And Zuma could go huge at B. He gets himself 2. There's one more that could potentially try and decap, but Zuma's played this absolutely perfectly. You couldn't ask for a better performance in Dom. 24 and 22 is his stat line. It may not look flashy at all, but those big time plays coming from Zuma.
And those brief triple caps can just be a bit of a dagger. Again, that just bumps up the lead an extra 6 points every 10 seconds. It can get a little bit out of control, but now Subliners, they can born the pressure. They actually have players just now attached going over towards C. Love it. Now if they can get this one, the force is Faze. They have to make so many decisions at the same time. They're going to be forced to spread across the map, and that means Faze will have to win every single individual gunfight just to have hope.
That was a gunfight you would have expected Attached to win, though. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't. However, New York still in the driver's seat. A will be secured. Still the lead, a sizable one, with just under 2 minutes still to go. Atlanta Faze now will need to push forward. A trip cap is almost going to be a certainty if they want to come back into this game.
Not only are they going to need the triple cap, they're going to need it for a fairly substantial amount of time.
At least 15,
the pressure is on, but right now they do have the C flag. They got a bunch of bodies over towards B. There is still a little bit of hope, but it is going to be so tough, and the Subliners just spawn at C. They can turn around, go for the despawn, cap the flag themselves.
That's the problem. When you're in these situations as Faze, you need someone to go huge on your home hill, and Sim does just that. Attach is shut down. A is now being decapped. Oh boy, can they lock in B as well? It doesn't look like it, because again, Zuma wins the gunfights, decaps B, keeps it under New York control, and honestly, that could be that.
And this is just too much. It's a 40-point game with the minute left. The job is done. The Subliners going large on Hackney Yard. They have found their home, and what a performance again. Just insane stuff from Zuma from start to finish, leading the lobby and slaying, admittedly just kind of tied with the BZ, but again, this is what we were expecting. At some point, someone's going to step up and be able to handle the pace of Faze. Granted, only one map, but if what we saw from the first respawn is any indicator, the Subliners are here to play.
Definitely are. It's not going to be 3-0. You think back to how close the Hardpoint was as well. Potentially, we could have a Game 5 on our hands. The only concern, really, if you are a New York fan, is, well, they'll have to play a search and destroy again if they're going to win this series, Chance. And I mean, Atlanta Faze, they haven't dropped a round so far in search.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I mean, it's going to be a long uphill battle, and obviously beating him in respawn once is pretty difficult. Beating him in twice is not going to be too much easier, but fantastic performance and credit where credit is due. The Subliners on Hackney Yard. Again, it's really just dealing with the chaos. The decision-making of like when you spawn at C, do you go for the decap, the full cap, how much pressure do you pour on A in the rotations? It's a constant stream of information, and the New York Subliners handled it incredibly well.
And the key is not only did they handle the information correctly, they won the important gunfights and they played their life. They valued their life as well. That is about as good of a domination performance you're probably ever going to see. New York Subliners show there's still life left, even though Atlanta lead the series 2-1. We'll be back after this with Game 4. Atlanta Faze still with the lead, but New York Subliners show us there's still life left in this series. We'll go to a Hardpoint St. Petrograd next chance. The first Hardpoint was close, but there was still a few small mistakes that you could look at if you're New York and say, we've got to rotate maybe a little bit quicker. We have to maybe rotate a little bit deeper into the map. Can they do it? Can they force Game 5?
I think they absolutely can. I mean, realistically, what we saw from the first Hardpoint is they were getting out-rotated pretty much every single hill. They were having to fight through incredibly difficult setups, and even still kept it incredibly close within like a 40-point game, whatever it was, which not ideal. But considering the situation they were dealt with in the map, they managed it incredibly well. We just saw what they were able to do on Domination. They went toe-to-toe and completely ran over Faze. So now, of course, going to St. Petro. I mean, even still, this is one of those maps that it kind of gives you good spawns. Like, if you lose the rotation over towards, like, the third hill, well, now you get them for the fourth sort of thing. So I think there's plenty of hope to see this map 5, but they have to keep the guns hot. Zuma still has to be the monster that he was. Accuracy on a map like this needs to step up at the M4 as well. There is no time to slow down.
For me, eyes on Zuma. You say no time to slow down. Historically, notoriously a fast player. He's going to need to keep up that same pace, keep those same numbers coming through. Doesn't have to be a 2.0 KD. We're not looking for anything like that. We're just looking for those consistently good quality plays. And New York, we're going to get to the hill first.
New York actually going to have a lot of control. A lot of nades got chucked out just to keep Faze at bay. You got the wall bangs coming in as well. Unfortunate with the team kill, but now Zoom up well, makes the read, connects with the hit fire. And, well, the man needed to have a hot start. 2-0, but eventually gets dropped, and Faze completely take over.
Yeah, just like that. It looked like it was going to be so good. And Faze retake full control for New York. Now the question is, how far up do you want to push, Jets?
Push as far as you can, try to get this next wave of kills, and you actually see a couple men hiding in the bushes getting those cutoff kills, so Priest is going to be tough to deal with, as well as Selly and Faze right now. Again, full control, and if they start racking these kills up, it can get out of hand, and there's the clean 5 down. The question is, where do the spawns come in for the Subliners? The good news for them, they stay where they want to be.
Absolutely blessed. That could have gone out of hand very quickly if Selly was maybe just a little bit quicker into pushing deep into New York Subliner territory. However, as you say, New York may get a little lucky there. However, Atlanta Faze have done damage on the first kill. The lead, a sizable one at that. Looks like it's going to be somewhere around, what, 49 points to 3 as you rotate to the second hill.
And of course, right now, Faze has a couple different options. You actually want to try and go to block those spawns at the bottom right, or you just want to get inside the hill. Priesty gets chopped down along the way, but the Subliners actually don't have any pressure inside the hill for the moment, so they're not really racking up any of the time. And now Faze is pouring on the pressure, trying to go for some spawn kills, and not hyper successful with it, but even still, that was what, 20 seconds going by without Subliners getting any time.
They're just so busy trying to control the spawns, which, yes, is so important, Chance. But again, to your point, you have to be inside the hill to earn those points. Now Faze walk straight in, and yes, again, the game plan was correct from New York, but you've got to execute it just a little quicker.
I mean, that was beautifully put from Faze. They're just dropping the ball a little bit there from the Subliners, but again, for the situation they were dealt, Faze completely goes off. Simp now on the hot hand. He's going to be on a 5 spree, and more importantly, potentially, then the streaks, which now gets bumped up to 6. His teammates have already started rotating across the map.
And this is something that we've seen Atlanta Faze do so successfully. When they rotate through the map, they make sure they go as far back as possible. Priest was first to the party. He went all the way to the back, making sure his teammates could spawn on top of him. Simp with the double. That's a 9 streak, by the way, for him. As Atlanta Faze to make this one a little one-sided, Chance. Make that double digits. 11 and 3 is Simp. A 10 streak. 11, almost number 12. Oh, my lord.
And this is back-to-back-to-back kills now, where Faze is just in full and utter complete control, and this is just going to get out of hand. Maybe the good news for the Subliners, they can get a nice early rotation over to Pool Hall, because if not there, they're just going to get completely mollywopped. But about a 100-point lead now for Faze. They'll bump it up to about 120. And Faze is actually snuck through. You have a BZ that just walks straight past 0-0, is clueless to it. And if they're able to get this rotation, that's going to be an early GG.
And just when you look at the minimap, it's so disappointing. Just those extra lanes that have just been left open. Faze consistently getting through. However, the kill has come through. So for New York, you can stabilize. You're inside the hill first. And as we know, this can be a big chunk of time in Pool Hall.
Absolutely, but you're pretty much going to need that full 60, because even if you didn't, you're still going to be down by another full 60 type situation. And Faze, they have cakewalked their way into hills before. Now they got quite a bit of pressure trying to work their way inside, but once they get there, they did get met with accuracy. And, well, now it's up to Attach, laying down in the front of that door.
I like that. He's just lying down literally in the door, but Priest just runs straight through him. And Faze runs straight through the New York Subliners to retake hill control. 27 seconds left, and again, that 100-point lead is just getting bigger and bigger chance in the kill feed. I mean, it's just been red for so long.
I mean, Simp 17-4, Celium 16-9. Simp just went on another 5 spree after going on an 11 spree earlier. Brutal stuff. Ben, this is tough scenes.
That's the light way of putting it, that's for sure. Simp will find one. That's Celium, but the trades always seem to be there for Atlanta Faze. New York are first to the hill. But again, I mean, so much damage was done early on in this game, where Atlanta Faze have such a cushion that honestly, we could start talking about 100-point clubs at this point. I'd be very surprised in this current form of New York that they even get to triple digits.
Well, they are inside the hill and they get a little bit of clearance, but it seems like any single time they get set up for a moment, someone for Faze just steps up and gets the kills. But the Subliner stabilize, hold on, get a body inside the hill. We'll see how long Zero can hold on to his life for.
We talked about Simp before on a big spree. He's 23 and 6 so far here in this game. He's currently on a 2 streak as well. He's going to find another, so make that 3. Simp is really, really playing out of his mind.
He's stat padding, honestly. I mean, he had 24 kills, accuracy attached, have a combined 12 plus temp is at 22. So he is single-handedly getting more kills than 3 members of the Subliners.
I think you told me that stat before, wasn't it, in Search and Destroy?
In Search and Destroy, it was so much worse.
Either way, this game is, I mean, it feels over. It really does. Of course, it's not yet, but unless New York can string together a same and similar spree that Atlanta Faze was able to do, there is no chance of them taking Game 4 and forcing a Game 5.
I mean, it feels overwhelming for the moment. Zuma, though, he's been a playmaker before. He gets cut down by Celium there. Atlanta Faze in and around the hill, and Zero needs, like, they all just need to step up. They're getting massively outslayed. Even when they've had the rotations, they haven't been able to hold on, but maybe get a little bit of lifeblood coming your way. Zero inside the hill might have an advantage, and anytime you think there's hope, it just gets shut down. Faze, they're going to be able to get those final 20 seconds, and now they're thinking about the rotation.
It's almost the same quote that I think it was Scump you said it. When you play,
there's an extra man on the map.
Every time there's like a 1v1 in the hill, before you know it, Atlanta Faze have an extra man, so the trades are always in their favor. They're so fast to react to what's going on the map. It's so hard for anyone else to keep up, and I mean, look at the score now, Chance, 205 to 67. Of course, the new hill pops, and yes, New York can get a full 60 here, but the task ahead of them seems almost impossible, but it could start right here.
And it's going to be Simp as well, the man to watch, right? He's got 28 kills. He's going on a tear. Eventually just breaks through and blocks those bottom right spawns, and that means Faze will be able to get to the hill a little bit quicker. 28 kills Simp has. Finally, someone takes him down, and the Subliners, again, a little bit of life. They're inside the hill, get a little bit of control, but someone on their team needs to start rotating as well. Temp's going to be that guy. He's going to take off, start traversing the map, and if they can even like make this little bit of last time scrappy, they get the early rotation. This is where it starts to maybe build a little bit.
But here's the problem. If you keep giving away 15 seconds of scrap time, Atlanta's going to win the game before you can even come back into the game. So you're in this situation now for New York where you simply have to play perfectly. You have to hold for full 60, rotate as well early, win the rotation fight, and hold for full 60 again just to get back into the game.
And in fairness, Atlanta also at this moment could just set up everyone in and around restaurant, have one guy sit in pool hall and just hang out for the next 60 seconds, be like, don't even worry about it, guys, I'll just be in the next hill, but
it's your turn.
You just have options. You can pour pressure on the hill. You can have Celium trying to walk through. Him and Priest able to get 3 between the two of them. But for the moment, Subliners hanging on inside the hill.
Priest sitting at 19 and 15. A 3 spree makes that number 4. He just wants to fly straight through the door. There's 5. Can Priest find 6? Almost. Because he scrambled away, but it doesn't matter. Celium's there. It's his turn now as he finds the first. Recognizing the nade was always going to take him down. Wanted to try and push out, take the fight to New York, but this has been a very underwhelming Game 4, Chance, if I'm honest. Atlanta Faze showing you why they're the #1 team in the game right now.
They at least fell in the domination, but maybe the good news for the Subliners is they don't have to deal with them in Search and Destroy once again. It could have gotten a lot worse, but phenomenal performances across the board from Faze. There's only so much you can say. Simp has 36 kills right now.
It's pretty good, right?
I mean, it's as good as it gets.
37. He's on a 3 spree right now. 37 and 12 to be precise, as Celium kills 1, as we mentioned, this game. It's been over for quite some time. A 5 spree simple end on 39 and 12 from your back-to-back MVP last year. And Atlanta Faze are showing us why we should have them as the #1 team in the game. Yes, they falter a little bit in the domination, but overall, Chance, that was very, very impressive.
Still got to see him against Chicago, though. No saying #1, and again, I mean, I guess good news is predictions wrong. A lot of people said 3-0, but again, that domination was great for the Subliners. But
Miles got it right. He said 3-1. I think he's the
New
York was going to win Search, though. So I'm not going to give you too much credit, Miles. You got the game mode wrong, but you got the score right. So credit where credit's due there. Either way, Atlanta Faze, such a good performance. Of course, for them, they'll finish launch weekend nice and pretty, 2-0. Didn't lose a round in Search and Destroy. For New York, same cannot be said.
Obviously, though, a lot of teams, not just the Subliners, have quite a bit of work to do coming into London as well, whether it be focusing on the Search game or just going back to the drawing board and trying to learn a little bit from the teams that have had quite a bit of success. But again, just when you mentioned Faze, again, credit where credit is due. They just look phenomenal right now, right out of the gate. Very professional young squad.
Yes, they do. That's everything from myself and Chance here at launch weekend of the Call of Duty League. Hopefully you guys are having fun. Still more games to come, but we'll set it now down to the main stage with Chris Bucket.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. It's time for our instant reaction powered by PlayStation. Puckett here with Priesta, and I gotta ask you, man, you've played 7 maps, you have won 6 of them. Why is Atlanta so dominant right now?
Honestly, we're just clicking. Everything right now, especially in S&D, is just like a constant flow. We know how we want to play every single map, and it just feels great right now. We just got to work on some dominations, and we'll be good.
Have you been scouting out the rest of the competition? Because you clearly, in my book, are the top S&D team. But who do you think is at the top of that pyramid with you?
Honestly, I'm not too sure. I'd probably say maybe like Chicago. But I don't know. I have to watch more people play, more matches for S&D.
Speaking of your squad, though, I want to ask about the one game you did drop. It was Domination, and it seemed like the whole team was just a little bit off. Normally, you guys are just crushing around the map. You're taking every gunfight possible. In that map, you guys had a very slow start. What was going wrong? What did New York do right?
Well, Domination's a lot different with the neutralization. We started off pretty slow because we were on bad side. Honestly, I thought we played the bad side pretty well. They just started sneaking through the A flag, and they played it a lot better on their bad side than us. So we got to just work on playing a little bit better on our good side and just locking it down, get that 2 cap for like as long as we possibly can. But they played really well, just sneaking through and just flipping the spawns.
Well, you guys bounced right back, and you crushed in that game 4. And I know we got a clip that we want to play for you. Here's the TV behind you. We're going to run some B-roll. But Atlanta, you guys are now going to be taking a break. You will not be in London. The next time we'll see you is in Atlanta. So what else are you guys going to be working on after you go back and watch all this footage?
Honestly, I think we're just gonna watch over all of our VODs and just keep grinding, just know what the maps that we have to work on are. I think Domination is probably our weakest game mode right now, so we're gonna keep on working on that. Our S&D, we've been practicing a little bit. We honestly didn't practice it too much, so our performance right now in S&D is incredible. And hopefully we keep that up. Just mainly work on DOMs.
Mainly work on DOMs. Minneapolis, did you enjoy watching Atlanta Faze this weekend? They are young, they are hungry, and they are dominant in the new Call of Duty. Priesta, go get some rest. Enjoy the rest of the time with your team. We are going to break. When we come back, we got plenty more from the Call of Duty League, including your hometown rocker!
Major Maniac, you should see him right in the back with a catch wins it.